First on, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is the approval of minutes of January 12th and 28th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Ryan, second by Commissioner Brooks. Discussion, have everyone looked at it?
Not here the 28th.
So, do we have a,
The 28th and vote on the 12th?
yeah, okay, we're gonna have to table 28th because we don't have a quorum for that.
All right. The 12 had a typo
Typo, where?
where it says stuck instead of struck.
What's it, where is it?
Have it in front of you? I don't, it's on my,
Stock and struck.
one of them had a typo.
I just have the front pages in front of me.
Here's the 12th.
So this right here has been stuck by a vehicle twice as opposed to struck by a vehicle twice.
Okay, so we'll move, when we get that we'll have that changed, and we can vote on that. All right. Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Okay, all those in favor of the meetings for January 12th, say aye.
Aye.
300. And we'll, Brendan, on the 28th, we'll have to do them on the next meeting this week. All right? 12. Public participation, so just let people know we don't have the WebEx up, we're having technical difficulties.
We're close.
When it is brought up, if there's someone out there who wants to come in, please let us know. So Brendan, with that, can you give us your report, please?
Yes, just going to. Maybe if you're, are you on the WebEx?
I'm not.
No, I'm just trying to think if our phones are away from the microphones.
Keep moving my stuff too.
So our maintenance team has been busy with the recent snowstorm, continues to work on cleaning up parking lots and entrances to our parks and playgrounds. During the storm, our team works for DPW plowing. They plow streets before they're moved off to parking lots and town parking lots, schools, and things like that. So once the snow stopped falling, the team shifted to getting the schools and town buildings open. They worked overnight shifts, pushing the snowbanks back, clearing large piles at intersections, and opening up sidewalks on the school grounds. And we would like to thank them for our maintenance team for all the hard work and effort they put in during the storm, clearing all the entrances and snowbanks, and they are still opening up some parking lots. And then when they're not clearing snow, maintenance staff has been continuing to make repairs and perform general maintenance on our equipment, ensuring it will be ready for the spring. And they have also been catching up on trash around town, often having to dig out barrels that are covered in snow. Trash is frozen in there, they're in snowbanks, so they continue to work on that. My next item is the recreation maintenance craftsman and working foreman positions. We have been interviewing maintenance craftsmen and, okay, it's on. And maintenance foreman for those positions. We've completed the interviews. We did have the maintenance craftsman on the agenda this evening, but we did not finish all of the references. They didn't all come back yet, so we are going to have a need for another meeting this week just to approve those appointments. And that's, we did include it on the agenda at first, but we did have to pull it. So in an effort to bring on staff as soon as possible, we'd like to do a meeting. I believe everyone's agreed to Wednesday. Greg, you were the only one that wasn't available. I'm sorry. Everyone else was available Wednesday at 6.
If I can, I will.
Okay. And that will be at the Recreation Department in our conference room. Hopefully, it's not a long meeting, but we will put the candidates up for appointment at that point. Annual report. We have been working on the department's annual report, which is due to be completed this Friday. And once that is completed, I'll get copies out to everybody. But it's a great opportunity to highlight the department's accomplishments, objectives, changes that may have occurred, and future goals that we have. So, as I mentioned, we'll make sure you receive a copy as soon as it's completed. Then we also add pictures to it of some of the projects and some events and things like that that have taken place throughout the year. So that's all I have for now until we get to old business.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner.
On the maintenance on the snow plowing, whose budget does that go under?
It go,
Because I know that because it's a town, there's only one budget that can be, can go negative, and that's the snow plowing budget, because it's a crapshoot every year, right? So whose budget does that go under?
the town snow and ice budget, so it's control, not ours.
Okay.
Not
That was my concern.
Any other questions for Brendan? No? Yeah, the guys did a good job on the snow removal, the whole town did, and it's a lot of work, especially when it's happening on weekends, so good for them. Kelly, your report?
Just, quickly, we are, our WebEx connection is up and running now, so.
Okay.
Just, Kelly has graciously agreed to monitor any outside comments that may, people may raise their hand and ask
Okay.
questions.
So if anyone's there, Kelly, please let me know, and we'll,
There is not currently.
there's not currently, thank you. So with that,
I did spell parks wrong, though, so apologies for the, for the
Sheesh.
typo. I know. In my haste to get it up there.
that's fine. Thank you. So your report, Kelly?
Yes, so we're gonna start with an update on the Overlook Park project. So Weston and Sampson, along with MJ Cataldo, completed the septic investigation on Wednesday, September 4th. It was verified that the Players Building is still connected to the septic system tank via the manhole right next to the tank. This serves the women's room. The men's room discharges straight into the tank that was discovered behind the building. So we have two active septic tanks that we need to handle. Weston and Sampson put together a suggested sewer layout for the Players Building, which includes installation of a sewer manhole near the back tank or the cesspool area with a line running around the building with a second manhole and then a third manhole to intercept the service out of the side of the building, finally running to the sewer connection at Edgemere. So we basically have to run from the back of the building, then the side of the building, then up front to Edgemere. They'd have to connect, Brennan will correct me if I'm wrong, they connect the men's room, which is in the back, then it'll pipe it out to the women's room, which is on the side of the building, and then straight out to the street. They're working on a final plan, which we hope to have at tomorrow's meeting. So once we get that, we'll send that out to you guys.
What's the distance between the men's room and the ladies' room?
In the building,
Yeah.
or,
And the piping?
yeah, I don't have an exact distance for you. We were hoping that we would get an estimate from the contractor before tonight's meeting to be able to provide that. I don't have an exact measurement there. Would you like to venture a guess?
I would love to venture a guess. don't hold me to it, but I would say the entrances to the two are probably 25 feet apart.
So what does this do to the whole budget with this thing? Or do we have that covered?
This would come out of the contingency budget for the project. And as I said, we were hoping to get an estimate from the contractor. Brennan has been working with the town's administration to see if there are alternatives, which we're able to explore, but until we get the concrete plan and know exactly what we're looking at, how many feet, how many manholes there need to be, how many connections, I honestly wouldn't want to venture a guess.
Wouldn't either.
Okay. Which brings up a point. Mr. Kuna, who was there the other night, I told him to make sure there are no septic tanks underneath the field.
I will ensure that is addressed
It's fair.
in spades.
Forewarned is forearmed, right?
Yeah, right.
That is fair. So after tomorrow's meeting, we're hoping, like I said, we're hoping to have more definitive information. Right now, it's still sort of in the developing a plan stage. So once we have that, we'll pass that along. Professional development. So this month's professional development opportunity in cooperation with the Culture Committee is a finance fundamentals presentation. So we're bringing our full team together this Wednesday, 2 days from now, to talk about the different mechanisms used to fund our department. Brendan and I have worked on putting a presentation together. Our goal is to develop a shared understanding and to have an open discussion with everybody about BPRD finances. We're going to take a look at revenue streams that the department depends on and provide basic understanding of the importance of long-term planning. With the town moving to a new system for capital budget process, we want to bring our team up to speed and make sure they understand the importance of the fall meetings that we've been having with them for the last couple of years. So when we're looking at equipment and programmatic expenses, that we're doing it all through the same lens, knowing that we have to then provide broader information than we've had to in the past.
When are you having this meeting?
Wednesday.
What's that, the 11th?
Sure is. So in addition to the finance training, we're offering an advanced welding course, which expands on the basic welding course that we offered last year for our maintenance team. Anyone who attended that professional development last year is invited to attend the advanced training this year. That will be offered on the 17th and 18th of February. So we are excited about that, and I know they are as well. Looking into March, we'll be hosting a turf tank training for our maintenance team. Our program TR team will attend the Massachusetts Recreation and Park Association Conference. And the Culture Committee will be hosting a safety day for the full team, and more details on those items will be coming. We have opened our seasonal hiring. I know there's a ton of snow on the ground, but we're thinking about summer. So all of our seasonal hiring is now available on our website. We are looking for interns in both our TR and programming department. We are looking for seasonal laborers for our maintenance staff. We're looking for program directors and programming staff as well. So we are excited that we are already talking about summer, and that we have received several applications so far. So we are looking at starting interviews as soon as we possibly can. The majority of them will happen during April vacation, though.
How many people are you looking to hire for the summer?
So we're in the process of gathering information about which team members are coming back for the summer. Right now, we're at about an 80% return rate. So definitely 10 positions in the programming side. I'm not confident about the maintenance side. We usually fill 3 or 4 positions in that side as well.
So what's the total increase? If everybody came back, how many people does that make? Does that total?
Total seasonal staff?
Yes.
We're around 85, between 85 and 90.
Okay.
Go ahead, Commissioner Egan. Director Egan.
I just wanted to say, our return on investment there, the 80%, is directly related to Kelly's work with Emma Andrus, our therapeutic rec specialist, and our program team on, the development of our core values and really putting more effort into the retention of employees. We were, a few years ago after COVID, we were really struggling for employees, and the trainings that they're provided, their orientation, the core values that we input into the programs, we've had buy-in from the staff. They're returning again, like they did years ago, where they'd stay for 3 or 4 summers, and that really helps in a number of ways, but it helps the continuity of the programs, and parents are comfortable, right, signing their children up for the same programs year after year, knowing that the staff is so good and invested in making sure that our program is top in the area. So, point out that through the work of our tremendous staff, that's why we see such a return of staff.
Question? So, which is great. I'm just for my own education on it. You start, when somebody comes in as a summer seasonal, you're looking, say, a 16-year-old kid coming in, and with any luck, correct me if I'm wrong, you get a junior in high school, through college, you get 5 or 6 years out of them. And then they go on to start their adult life.
Well, with any luck, some of those people who start their adult lives in the teaching career stay on with us even longer.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So-
that's the plan, yeah. Yep, we have a number of directors who have worked for the department for almost a decade, most of which are in the teaching field in some capacity, whether it's in special education or classroom teachers, who are really invested in providing quality programming, and they do a great job. And they come back summer after summer. So we are very fortunate to have a great group of seasonal staff.
And they also work for us throughout the year at special events or just part-time staff in general. If we need assistance in a program, a lot of them do stay on and make themselves available for those programs as well.
Just to further drive Brennan's point home, post-COVID, we were at 40% retention rate, so we've climbed dramatically. We're excited. We're excited about that, and we'll be putting some numbers together after the summer just to kind of see how that return on our investment in the summer orientation really is for the department as a whole.
Just a quick note on that, Commissioner Ryan. So during Celebrate Burlington this year, I'm at the watering station with 2 guys, and these guys were talking about how they're coming back next year and they're gonna be like the head guys and they're gonna make a little bit more money. And they've been in the program for like 5 years, so I started pelting them with questions, and it was unbelievable how excited they were for next year, because it was sort of the end, you know what I mean? They probably had a couple weeks left, the summer programs were entering, but it was Celebrate, and I'm just asking them questions, but like they were saying how they loved the job, and so, I mean, that was great to hear as a commissioner, and I know that and I sort of went back to them and I said, I can't believe how excited these guys were already for next year. So that was good to hear that type of stuff, that the retention, hopefully, and those guys would bring on people that they would know, oh, this is a good summer job. So it was pretty cool.
You know, that kind of dovetails into the conversation that I went to the Ways and Means about the trailer, like the sensory trailer. And that kind of dovetails into, you got these people 5, 6, 7 years here, if seasonal, they get trained
Yeah,
for
and
the
they-
therapeutic stuff.
exactly.
So it's not like you're having to restart from scratch every year.
Exactly.
So that's great having an 80% return rate.
So Cal, I'm sorry, Callie, continue.
No, that's okay. In the programming division, our youth basketball program is continuing to thrive. It's been increasing since we overhauled the program in 2023. We've expanded our volunteer coaches program and lengthened the season to develop skills and teamwork, and really it's kind of taken a life of its own. Jeff has worked really hard to revamp that program, and we are seeing as we caught a number of participants in 3rd and 4th grade, and those numbers are continuing to climb as they grow into middle school. So we are excited for that program's kind of rebranding. And this year, he worked with the high school athletic department to promote Rec Night at BHS. So players are invited to attend the varsity basketball games on Thursday, February 12th. Boys start at 5:30 and girls follow at 7. If they wear their rec jersey, children get in for free. Parents still have to pay, but children will get in for free. So we are excited about that partnership as well. And I know we talk about summer in the office all the time, but also just wanted to note that our team is putting on the final touches for the spring programming guide, which means it should be out in the coming weeks. And then they are working on the summer programming booklet as well, and you can expect that to be released in April. In our therapeutic rec division, we are so excited to welcome Emma Andrus back. She came back to work from her leave today, so we are excited to have her back. And also want to thank Eva Burbage for her support and dedication in covering all of our programming while Emma was out on her leave. Eva was an amazing staff member for us. We will see Eva stay on in a part-time role for a little while, so we are excited for that. But it's like our TR programming didn't miss a beat. She just picked up right where Emma left off and did an amazing job. So kudos to her. We are very excited for that. And then the last part of my report is special events. We do have one special event left in the winter season. It's Characters Come to Life, Superheroes Day. It is scheduled for March 21st at Grandview Farm, and we are excited for the meet and greet and dance party that will follow.
And what time is that at?
It's a great question. I didn't put it in my report. I think it's 10 o'clock.
10 a.m.?
I think so, yes. I can get you that, though, factually.
Any questions more for Kelly? No, we're good. Kelly, thank you for your report. So new business, we talked about that. We're going to be having another meeting on that on Wednesday. So we'll go to old business, Brendan.
Yes, thank you. So old business, the first item is our FY27 budget. We had discussed the budget, I believe, back at the early January meeting, but we're waiting on the guidelines to come through from the administration. But at that time, we had a 4.9% increase. After working with administration, we have that down to a 4.47% increase. There's a minor adjustment in occupancy. We had increased it by $24,000 to cover the lights at the middle school, the new middle school field, but with that, the uncertainty of when that construction project will start and end, and then knowing that that brush field is next and will go offline, the lights there, we made an adjustment of $5,000 in that, so we only went up $19,000 instead of $24,800. We went up $19,800. And then also we had some longevity figured in for 2 employees that were retiring, that will be retired when this budget comes out, so we removed the longevity there. The budget reflects increases of 6.96% in full-time salaries, and the $19,000 increase in the occupancy is a 20.99, so almost 21% increase. And then we had a decrease of 5.71% in part-time salaries, which was the same, and 7.78% in contracted salaries. The slight increase in full-time salaries is due to the move from a permanent part-time clerk position to a full-time recreation therapist position. And the decrease in part-time account also is for that recreation therapist. We moved money from our part-time account over to the full-time account to cover the additional cost of a rec therapist. And then the increases in occupancy, as I mentioned, are the lighting system at Marshall Simons. And then we did have a decrease in contracted services. That has not changed. That was all the same. Our bucket truck inspection is now picked up by fleet maintenance, which is central maintenance, the repair and maintenance of town vehicles and equipment. So Our overall budget from our initial presentation here back in January at 4.9, it's down 0.47%. I'm sorry, 0.43%, down to total overall increase of 4.47%.
So it's the occupancy obviously is a big one, and then
Yep.
the new hire, full-time hire.
Yes.
Any questions on the budget? All right. You always got-
What's that?
you always got a good question.
No, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. My only, observation on this is you've got the amount of money spent as the 22nd, and I'm going to assume for a minute that there's a delay in the invoicing because your occupancy's coming in at, right now, 40,800. We're almost 7 months out of the 12 months through the year. So looking at it, it looks like it's going to come in at about $76,000, unless there's something outstanding that I'm not aware of.
So our,
As opposed to the 90, right? So you've got a total for this year of 90,539. Through January 22nd, you're at 40,841. You're more than halfway through the year, but that's only, if you were at halfway, you'd be at $69.
so our busiest season for, that covers our lights in fuel, oil for a couple buildings. That covers really the lights, which come springtime, they're on a little longer. We have less rentals and need for them in the summer. So spring up through June is where we have heavy use. We have Marvin and Rotary Fields, we have the lights at Simons, and we have the lights at Brushfield. In the fall, we don't have those. We don't have, Simons isn't used, all 3 fields there every night. It's rarely used. And, we have our basketball court and pickleball courts and skate park as well. And then Marvin and Rotary don't get lights used as much either. So really, it starts to pick up in the spring, and then we'll see on some of the fields it slows down in the fall.
Okay. So based upon where we are right now, you see it coming in at the 90?
Yes.
Okay.
We're pretty close every year.
All right.
Yep.
Are we locked in on a rate? We must be, because, the rates for electricity right now are outrageous. So, are we locked in for next year? When the town locks in year to year?
Yeah, so they had said to us between a 2% and 3% increase, and we split that at 2.5% increase. So our occupancy, we did increase for the second set of lights at Marshall Simons, but we also increased 2.5% based on, through DPW, they figure the rates working with Eversource, and, they always have an increase somewhere in the summer, right? When demand starts to go up, they look at their rates again, Eversource. So I think they try to predict going ahead throughout the year for that increase.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions on the budget?
So-
2020.
So our total request for our FY '27 budget is $2,486,331.
2 million, say that again, I'm sorry. Yep.
$2,486,331.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
So moved to approve the budget for 2026 at $2,486,331.
Second.
2027's budget.
2027.
2021, yeah, so $2,486,331. Any comments? We all good? All those in favor say aye. Aye. 300. Budget approved. The next on there is capital items for 2027, Brendan?
Yes, thank you. So we have reviewed the capital items as well at a previous meeting, while the town was still working through a new approach to capital funding. So I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what they did. They put together a capital funding working group, and the new approach, new capital improvement program, it provides a unified and long-range approach to the town's major capital expenses. You may recall at the September 2025 town meeting, a bylaw was approved requiring a 5-year capital plan be presented at each May town meeting, which articulates the funding plan for the capital needs of the town for the ensuing 5 years. The intention is to provide the town a predictable capital plan, encouraging departments to plan strategically and in a multi-year approach, and generate confidence in our financial planning. So we sat down as a group. It included the schools, really all of the departments, but really the big ones, the smaller capital planning group was the big ones: DPW, police, fire, park and recreation, schools, and really tried to have an open conversation on needs. And each department was responsible for putting their 5-year plan together per town meeting's request. So we've all done that, and one of the difference you may see or may notice is the development of a program-based request that identifies recurring, multifaceted capital requests into one request. So each year we have a bunch of some vehicles or equipment that could be put into one. So you'll see this year we have a small equipment replacement. Instead of, we had a Bobcat UTV and a sidearm attachment for our tractors to do fence lines. That got put together into the small equipment rather than have, two separate. Also, if we had multiple vehicles for a year, those vehicles would be lumped into one. So you'd be approving, if we had 2 pickup trucks, F-350s, you'd be approving 2, not 2 separate. So it would be lumped into one. One of the things they're trying to do to make it, a little easier for people to read and interpret, knowing that they're voting on all like equipment in one. That's all figured into the next 5 years. One of the things we're going to discuss in our finance meeting when we talk with staff is the importance of staying on to that 5-year plan. A lot of times we've shifted, some of our maintenance items have shifted. But now that we're locked into this 5-year plan, we're not going to be able to shift around. The only way we would shift on a piece of equipment is if, one of our dump trucks, we'll say, which are bigger than the F-350s, blew the engine, and it was cheaper to purchase a new than replace the engine, knowing that it was up in 5 years. So to speak, that could shift into the plan. Or if one of our trucks were in an accident and totaled, right, that would jump it into the plan sooner. What we have today has fit into the town's capital spending for FY '27, and I'll go through each of those. The one big change we have from what we initially presented, we had presented Simons Park, a complete renovation of Simons Park, including wading pool and the bathroom building.
Right.
And one of the changes you'll see is that we're going for design money this year, which is what we discussed with the Overlook project, that we had planned to take the design out of the grant that that we received from the federal government and what was approved at town meeting, we learned that lesson. So we're looking at design this year and moving forward with a full ask next May at town meeting, so FY '28 budget for the full renovation, construction money for Simons Park. So I will go through these one by one with you. I provided all of the backup. It's the backup that went out to the Ways and Means Committee. The first one is the athletic field improvement at $200,000. This is the third year for the request. The funds are used for improvement of our athletic fields and outdoor facilities in our parks, playgrounds, and school properties, and on school properties. Projects this year will include repairing irrigation systems at Wildwood Park, and installing new irrigation boxes at Memorial School, Rotary Field, TRW Park, Upper Simons, and Francis Wyman Elementary School. Those are some of the things that the money will be used for. So that request is in the amount of $200,000. Do you want me to go through all of them and you vote on the total at the end? Or do you want to vote on them one at a time?
You want to vote on them individually? I think that's sometimes easier. Yeah. Why don't we vote on them individually? So can I have a motion for the athletic field improvement for $200,000?
So moved.
Second.
All right, so we have the first and second discussion.
Yeah. Just the one question, I want to make sure I'm reading this right for the fiscal year. This is the planned ask for the additional 5 years, right? In the backup of like page 3 where it goes FY '27 to '31.
It'll be 200 for this request?
Yeah, and then that's basically what you're projecting out over the next
Yes.
5 years, okay.
Yep.
Just make sure I'm-
Yes, sorry.
So, the 5-year plan, even though you've got 5 years of $200,000 on it, or actually on this one, which one's got the 2.5 million? Is it the second year on this?
Simons, I think.
Simons.
Simons, okay. So there's two questions. Number one, this totals so far $560,000. And this is all from free cash. Where do you get this number from? The total are you given a budget that says, okay, we're going to save approximately between $500,000 and $600,000 this year? Try to figure that out? Or is there a number that you're told that you kind of need to stay within for free cash?
We have never been given a number, our department, to stay within. We had a 10-year plan that seemed to shift a lot. So this approach, trying to keep it to 5 years, and the assistant town administrator working with Ways and Means on a budgeted figure for each year, and then based on everyone's 5-year capital plan and how that will work. So the number for Simons Park, is that we are looking at the renovation of Simons Park, the playground
Well, that's going to be
just-
bonded. That's not going to come out of free.
Correct.
That's not going to
Correct.
come out of free cash.
Correct.
It's really what I'm looking for or looking at is administratively how you come up with a number that's going to be free cash, and who gives you that number? Because I know that the big stuff, which is bonded, is an entirely different conversation.
correct.
Right? So what prevents you from, because I looked at this, I looked at the 10-year, and there's a whole bunch of things that are on the 10-year that have disappeared, right? So if there's another $1 million on the, or $800,000 on the 10-year that is not here, right? And also, granted, so where'd these go? Are you being nice to the town and saying we don't need all this stuff? Or is it going to be incorporated into the 5-year? And then what happens to all these other things throughout the course of time?
So you ready? I believe we have started fresh with our 5-year and projected things out over 10. So the 5 years that we have, FY '27 through '32, I believe it is. 31, has been completed, and probably include, I don't have that in front of me, what, some of those items that are in there, some may have fallen off. I believe we probably have a recreation center center in there, or building. We realized very quickly with a school and a police station and potentially high school renovation or new high school, that was not going to be funded. So we probably, I know we moved it off of the
Yeah.
5 years.
It was for this year, for 27,
Right.
you got a $10 million.
And
Now,
we knew that was not going to happen, so that got moved off. And realistically, knowing where the town stands and the, how do I say this, the importance of the other projects, to use your term, we were playing nice,
okay,
knowing that they moved off, so.
right, so,
But all of those items are incorporated in the 10-year
In the-
plan, in the 10-year plan that we have.
all right, so if I remove, sorry for taking so much time with this.
No?
So if I remove the bonded stuff, which is the $2.5 million, which is now $4 million for Simons Park, and the $10 million for the new rec center and field house, so, because those are bonded, right? We're left with about $1.2 million for fiscal year '27 on this list here, but you're asking for 560. All right? And so then, if I go to 28, I've got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, another $935,000 in 28, plus the 500,000 or so that we're not asking for this year. My question is, are we going to be building up so that one of these years, we're going to ask for a whole boatload of stuff?
I think we have incorporated those into our 10-year approach. I think that is going to change altogether for everybody, not just us, based on their new approach to funding capital
I
items.
think it's a rebaseline of the 10-year plan is what Brendan's kind of alluding to, because
They want more solid numbers on a 5-year plan instead of, we've always looked out at a 10-year. Sometimes we'd bring something forward, like need a new truck or.
Right, but it's, so essentially what that comes down to, though, is, let's say it's $1 million, they have $1 million, right? And so if it comes in for, the select board says, okay, for your capital items, you got $1 million, right? So the way the budgeting system works, if it happens in the middle of the year, you have to go to town meeting and get the fund specially approved for it. But if it happens before you kind of make the budget, you can rearrange the deck, the chairs on the Titanic, so to speak, right? So as long as you stay within that $1 million, if the select board says, you've got $1 million, and if whether or not it's made out, and you have in your mind, you've got 10 items, each at 100,000, well, if one of that 100,000 items is removed, and you replace it by two $50,000 items, it's still $1 million.
zero-sum game, because you're still,
It's a zero-sum game, so I'm not sure why we're getting we're getting all hung up on getting what you need 3, 4, 5 years out, when you know very well it is going to change. That's one thing, that's a constant, right?
I think that what you're looking at there is, I don't know how to say this, is the opposite of what, so we had front-loaded the 10-year plan with a number of items that we just kept pushing off, right? So you would see years 1 through 5, we probably had 10 or 15 items in each year that we needed. We took a look at the plan this year through a different lens. We, as Brendan said, we scrapped that one and looked at what we had and what our needs were. And when we developed the 10-year plan, we were more equitable in costs across the board. We're like, okay, this is about where we need to be, looking at each year, and then looking year over year at what we really needed incorporating the irrigation assessment. You won't find a single thing about irrigation in the 10-year plan at all. Looking at now design funds for a number of projects that we need to bring on. So we looked at it through a new lens altogether, which is why you're seeing 10, 12 things in there that we needed, and then we identified that we needed, but looking through a different lens and kind of looking at where we might be able to pull from different revenue streams, such as the athletic fields improvement, or trees and walkways. We were able to kind of play a different pot and assign things to different warrant articles, whether it's separate capital warrant articles or the athletic field renovation or the trees and walkway article. Some of that stuff went out to those, and some of it got reassigned in a different year.
Right, but even if it does that, right, are you shortchanging yourself? Because do you only need $560,000 for this year when 2 months ago it was $1.2 million? What has changed that has caused that number to decrease so dramatically? Is it because the select board said, no, you can't spend that much money, so you have to move things and look at it? Or did you just realize, well, no, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, we're getting out over our skis, and not only do we not necessarily need all of this stuff, we can't accomplish it all in a year, so let's not ask for it?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, with a look at dividing up the free cash and how it can be spent. Who can get what and needs over what may be a want, and what's really needed, and trying to work within a group that all needs something, right? Police, fire, DPW, us, schools. So trying a little bit of that, and then moving away from items that are larger than, what we really need, knowing that the town isn't going to be able to fund it, especially if there's other needs of higher priority from other departments.
Okay.
So,
I think I understand the thread you're pulling, though. Like, every year you get that, hey, this is your free cash amount for whatever department it is. You're trying to just make sure we're maximizing that and we're not leaving something on the table, yeah?
Right, I just want to make sure if
I would say, since I've been on the board, the recreation department has been very fair. We've always, just when we go for capital items, it's always been for what we need for that year. We've never pushed the envelope. And sometimes when we do push the envelope, you go in front of Ways and Means and, or the capital budget, and they sort of
well, I'm not,
in the right direction. But I'd like a copy of this five-year plan that we need to send us an email of the 5-year plan broken down, because I don't think we've gotten that since we've gone from a 10 to a. Do we have the 5-year? That you
But yeah,
We can get you that.
We
if
can
you-
get
if
you
you
that,
don't have
yeah.
it
Just
yet.
so we know, like, what's in line. I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but I know I have it in my notes here, but the 10-year capital plan, where you guys are looking tight on. And so we have that, what's coming down the line, which will be good. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
know,
not-
I know what you're saying, but like, so, which is new, what was the first one? The athletic fields that we're on right now. So that was something new. We started 3 years
Years
ago.
ago.
So that was something, because we were funding out of our free
Operating
cash
budget.
to get the fields the way they are now. We brought on Wildwood. That was coming out of our money. And then, so as a commission, we were like, well, wait a minute. This should be a capital request. So that's our goal now, is to take this money and make all our fields the same. And so we're slowly but surely, between training our staff, going in-house, doing it, and that's where this athletic field improvement is. That's why we're asking for those funds every year. And it sort of came off how they did the walkways. Every year, the town was asking money for walkways. Well, every year, we're going to ask money for the field improvement. And that's what the people want, that's what the residents want. They want good fields, they want, you know, so that's, on this particular one, that's why and that used to request, instead of requesting, you know, we need a new fence at Wildwood or whatever park, which is expensive, on a capital budget, now it's sort of in this athletic field improvement. And they come up with, so this year, what we spent that $200,000 on, you could say what we spent it on this year.
That's provide some flexibility in how you spend
Because,
it too, right?
because that's what town meeting's gonna ask, right?
Right.
That's what Ways and Means gonna ask, capital budget, they're gonna say, all right, what did you spend the money on last year? All right, this is what, so it's a good thing. And since I've been on this board, it's been pretty straightforward on what we ask every year. It's usually trucks, mowers, big mowers, and this is something new which has worked out really well in the last 3 years, I think.
So one more question on that, and that is, you haven't touched on it yet, which is the small equipment replacement. Town meeting has a way of working about themselves. Sometimes you never know how they're going to come out on something. But if you've got 2 or 3 vehicles in one article, do you run the risk of them not approving the article or amending the article to remove a vehicle? If you've got 3 vehicles in it, but they're only willing to give you 2, does the whole article fail? Or will they,
Well, I mean, recency is an example, and it's a little bit bigger dollar figure. I mean, Marshall Simons very much went up that way, and town meeting said, we will amend this and we'll split this into 2-phase project. So they have been willing to do it in the past. For a smaller article, I don't know.
All right.
And there is precedent there, but I understand what you're driving at.
I just would not like to have the whole thing rejected, not approved, whereas we did it separately, you'd get 2 out of the 3, so to speak, instead of 0 of the 3, that's all.
We will find out at Maytown meeting. It was the way that we were asked to
All
do
right.
things. That very well could happen. Just going to jump back a little bit. When I started in this position 11 years ago, 12 years ago, we probably saw half of what our request is this year, maybe less in requests. We did have a very big, ask each year. I'm comfortable with the amount that we're asking for this year. It's, like I said, double what we were asking for 12 years ago in getting, and I think this plan has been approved by administration, will fit in. So our goal is to continue to increase what we ask for based on need, not just want, but need, because we've gone a long time without making major capital improvements to our parks and outdoor facilities, and it's, time to start making those for our residents. So we have improved our request year after year, and we do have some other resources that we can put, probably some of the projects that are on the 10-year there, fencing and things like that, as Dave mentioned, Commissioner Norden mentioned, out of our athletic field improvements, outfield fences, perimeter fences for athletic fields, walkway improvements, and then irrigation assessment that was completed, being able to now go through and take from the athletic field improvement fund to replace those and not have to go, they wouldn't rise to the capital expenditure necessarily, each of the fields, and then we're looking to either take it out of our operating budget or out of the rec revolving account. So having these other funding sources in there year after year does allow us to address those.
Through the chair, Commissioner Ryan, I think maybe to your point too, for that traceability matrix with the field improvement plan, maybe we start ticking off with this money, hey, these were things that were identified in the outdoors and fields improvement plan to demonstrate, hey, we've spent the money in a responsible manner, and these are the, things that have been identified, and this is the issues that have been addressed, over time. Because I think, I understand, I think some of the things you're driving at to like continue to build trust with town meeting to get these funded, maybe that's a way we could do that where, you know, you show that, hey, we spent this 200 grand, but it ticked off like our top 2 or 3 out of the field improvement plan, you know?
Yeah,
The outdoor facility master
I don't think
plan
it would
is-
do that with 200K, but again, just showing it that we're making that iterative improvement and it's working towards the goals that are laid out in that plan.
So I would just, to add on that, we have taken the outdoor facility master plan, and we have added the projects into our current 10-year plan. So they will come off, and they were put in there by priority. We had them done by priority order, short-term, midterm, long-term, and we've done a great number of the short-term already, and we're into the medium, and the long-terms are on there as well. So we definitely have utilized that document to make improvements.
Yeah, but if we can show that, hey, we've made a significant progress in the punch list with the funds we've been given, it does show, you know, some good
Yeah.
faith here.
Yeah, because you do mention in, you know, in the documentation, what fields you worked on this past year.
Yep. And we'll continue to take from those,
All right, I'll shut up now.
or reduce that
I
list.
think they're all good points. It
no, it's
makes a
good,
ton of
I mean,
sense, yeah.
but that's, this particular article is a good article for the Recreation Commission, in my opinion. So with that, we have we'll go to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
300.
The next item is fences, trees, and walkways. This is the second year for the request. The original request was put forward so that we could make some capital improvements for the replacement or renovation of fences, walkways, and trees within our parks, playgrounds, schools, municipal properties. Projects for this year include walkways that we completed this year were walkways at Wildwood Park and Regan Park, and then also planting some trees on the town common. These projects will be completed based on priority, and then new trees, we have trees come down during storms all the time, but we don't necessarily have a budget to pull from to start planting new ones. Last year, we replaced a couple on the town common. One we did out of memorial funds. Someone donated money and wanted to see some trees. And then we've had trees come down in our parks. So needing to replace them, this is a great source of funds for that. So we are requesting $50,000 for fences, trees, and walkways.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion for 50,000 for fences, trees, and walkways. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
300.
The next item is ceramics room renovation. We would like to renovate the existing ceramics room to create a versatile, modern, multi-purpose programming space that better supports the community needs. The current room, originally designed for ceramics, as a specialized ceramic studio, lacks the flexibility, layout, and infrastructure required for today's broader range of programs and events. The renovation will include a full interior upgrade, removal of outdated fixtures, and an installation of a new finishes to create an adaptable and welcoming environment. A key component of this is to renovate the existing area where the kilns are for the ceramics into a full teaching kitchen, which still allows for the remainder, the large part of the room to be used as a flexible program space. The only thing you won't find it in the backup is we're waiting for our contractor to give us an estimate. Our facilities department is working with contractors to provide an estimate for the room. We are seeking $50,000 for this renovation. We'll completely gut the room, and then build a teaching kitchen there, and it also includes removing all of our current, what you call it, a staff kitchen, all the cabinets and appliances that are in the staff kitchen, which are 30 years old, removing those and creating a storage closet for our function rooms. We have multiple storage cabinets in the function rooms. We have multiple chair racks and things like that in the room. We'd like to, make those programming space and create more storage space for the supplies that are used for the programs that go on in there as well. So that's wrapped into there, the removal of the cabinets, which are starting to, say, disintegrate. The drawer fronts are falling off. So it's all wrapped into that renovation.
Okay, can I have a motion for the ceramics room renovation of $50,000?
Can I have a question first?
We'll discuss.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we'll just, motion,
So moved.
Second?
all right, discuss?
I thought we moved to approve it.
No, we're not gonna
Oh,
approve.
okay. How big is that space?
Which space are we talking about? The ceramics room?
Ceramics room.
Uh,
So I don't have a picture of it. Do you have a?
Yeah. I don't have a,
It's the,
I guess I know,
I
because
don't
my
have a
daughter
picture.
goes to the cooking
know where the
class, so I
building is.
understand where the room is at.
so, do you know where the bathrooms are located between the recreation portion of the building and the COA portion?
Yes.
Okay, right across from the bathrooms. It's a ceramic studio that is probably, I'm gonna guess, 25 by 20. But then there's where the kilns are, which is in behind a 8-foot wall, block wall. So it's cordoned off from the room. And there's cabinets down both sides, shelving on a third wall. So we'd be clearing all of that out of there to create a flexible space that will have tables stored in the back, so they're not in the room. It could be used for yoga, Pilates. We use it now for Dungeons and Dragons. It could be arts and crafts in there, a whole mix of programs.
So is that wall coming down where the,
So the idea is that, sorry,
I have the ceramic,
Oh.
I'm gonna put that.
oh, Kelly will throw it up on the screen, the ceramics room. It will cut that 8-foot wall down and we'll have a countertop on it, so they'll be able to teach from the kitchen inside. People will be able to gather around and then go back to a table to work on whatever they're doing, for a cooking class, for example.
I'm working on it.
Working on it.
I'm slow.
is there
So-
water in there?
Yes, there's a sink in there. There is more electricity than we'll probably need because it was running 4 kilns. There's an exhaust system. So we're looking to turn that area where the kiln's in to a refrigerator, double oven, cooktop, and then we'll have the sink, a newer, improved, more, a larger kitchen sink area, deep sink.
What about the floor?
The floor right now is concrete painted. I'm gonna guess we'll probably stay with that. Something hardy. We won't be putting in new floor. The tiles in the room were done about 7 years ago when a portion of the front, the Council on Aging was renovated. They put new floor tiles in that room.
Okay, and then the ceiling, where you take the wall down, what's the ceiling? Is it,
The wall doesn't go all the way to the ceiling.
doesn't go all the way to the
Nope.
ceiling? Okay.
No, it's only about 8 feet high. And it's a drop ceiling in there, so it's all new ceiling over the kilns already.
Okay, because my concern was, I don't think you had enough money, but I think you do.
so that, yeah, you got a question, John? So that would be my concern. The cost, so just based on hearing horror numbers on doing a kitchen, of what kind of range? I mean, this is something we want to work long-term, not
I
something
put my
that,
glasses on to see.
I know, I'm sorry.
Should be able to make that full screen.
so not having a prior estimate going into,
I don't know how to do
you comfortable with that 50,000? Because I don't want to.
Yes, only because I've heard ballpark what it was gonna come in at, so I am comfortable at the 50. We're not doing high-end finishes and things like that, right? It's gonna be standard, we're not putting cabinetry, some cabinets in there, but it's not gonna be, a home,
So you're not making anything specialized, it's just.
Correct.
It's just gonna be
correct,
a.
so it'll, yes. We're not going for Sub-Zero refrigerators and,
Yeah, that's what.
Viking ranges and things like
Well,
that.
no, but you want something commercial grade.
Correct.
You don't want, which can be expensive.
Correct.
I can see that fine. So where's the kiln right now? Behind?
Behind the,
Hold
right,
on.
oh,
You can't see it in that photo.
on the right
Right
side.
here, behind
Behind.
this right here.
Yep.
They're
kiln.
back there.
I think originally, when it was the center school, it may have been a locker room, shower
That's the
room.
painted concrete floor?
Nope, no,
Oh,
floor.
floor.
On the
sorry.
other side, it's
Yes.
under the kilns, on the other side. These are the tile floor that was replaced.
That looks beat up.
The chairs there leave marks on the floor, so we get it buffed out, and it's what we have for chairs right now. So it's the bottom of the metal, painted metal of the chairs that
It's
leaves.
also a white floor.
And, yeah.
Where will the kitchen go?
Ki-
The new kitchen?
Could it be
Here.
dual use too? Because if that teaching kitchen becomes the staff kitchen too, does that add any value that it's a dual use space?
Oh, it will be, because we're removing our
Yeah,
refrigerator from the staff kitchen area. And
Gonna keep it in the same area?
it'll shift down the hall, down the hall, because these are across from the bathrooms. The other one was off of function room too. And it just, staff having, I'm just using this as an example, staff entering, they're keeping their lunch and stuff in there, entering when there's a program going on. Same issue happens here, but, or could potentially happen here. But the other area, in and out, you can't we can't safely teach cooking classes. We've had, kids cooking classes, therapeutic rec cooking classes that have been popular, but not really safe, because you're really doing the prep out in another room, and someone's bringing it in and putting it on the stovetop or in the oven. People can't, participants can't see how that is done and really experience the whole 9 yards.
All right.
That's a wall of cabinets on the right-hand side there. Those will all be removed, give us another 3 feet of space in there, going all the way to the outside wall.
I mean, that's a big room.
Yeah, it's a good room. Good to utilize it more. Any other questions? No? So Bring it to a vote.
I kind of feel you're concerned of like maybe we're underbidding.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Um, So we'll go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Can I amend it to $75,000?
I'd support that amendment.
What's that? Yeah.
Support that amendment.
I'd like to amend it to $75,000, because I don't think if you come in less, that's great, but I think you're going to need more.
Okay.
I'd like to
'cause
make
commercial
equipment-
an amendment to $75,000.
Would it be possible to take that up at our next meeting once we get estimate in? Because yes, would that be possible, and amend it before it goes to Ways and Means based on estimates?
Yes, I could live with that.
We'll approve it tonight at this amount, and then if we need to amend it, we'll bring it back for an amendment.
As long as you put it on the agenda to review that.
Okay, we can do that.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, that's all sort of all our concern, which is, okay.
Then I'll motion to approve at the 50.
All right, so bring it to a vote again. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 300. With an amendment.
Okay, all right. The next item is renovations of Simons Park. We plan to design and install a universally accessible playground, renovate the wading pool, and and add some splash pad features and replace the bathrooms, installing adult changing tables, which is something that is needed at Simons Park. The last time the playground was updated was, in our estimate, 27 years ago, and it needs to be updated. After discussions with town administration in our recent experience with Overlook Park project, the FY '27 request will only be to fund the design portion of the project. We plan to request construction funds for FY '28. In the backup is the current estimated probable cost for this project if it were to go this year. And it currently sits at 3.796 million. And we're looking for 200,000 for design funds.
Okay, can I have a motion of $200,000 for the design of the renovation of Simons Park?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, discussion.
Yeah, so I just did have a question. I think the plan's great. It hasn't been updated since I was like a junior in high school, so like, it's been a while. The only question I have is the building that's down at the end of the ramp, is that in the scope of this project? Did we look at any of the needs? I can't remember the name of the building I'm drawing.
The Visco building?
The Visco building. Is that any of the needs addressed in this, or is that gonna be a separate part of it?
That is separate warrant article. Do you remember which year? Down the road.
It's in somewhere, it's covered in a
Yep.
in a plan. I
Somewhere.
got it.
Yes.
Outside the 5-year plan. I don't believe it's in the next 5 years.
So does that mean the bathrooms are going to stay the same for the next year?
Yes, the bathrooms will stay the same for the next year. They will be clean.
All right, you're setting yourself up for a headache.
Well,
Well, I
we
mean-
see 1,000 people at that park potentially a day. And they will be cleaned at least 3 times a day, in the morning, after lunch, and at 3:30. We do not have the funds to put a 24-hour person on.
No, I understand that. That's, my point was the conversation that we'd had in the past.
Yep.
All right,
I was really more looking towards the building that's northwest of the drawing, so like that last page, north being up on that drawing is depicted, that building on the northwest corner there.
Yes, that's
bathroom
the,
building.
It's the Visco building.
okay.
Yeah, that's in the,
make sure it's
going
Oh,
down,
okay, yeah,
that's in the
sorry.
back. Yeah,
I
they
think,
do
were
classes
you talking
in
about the
there.
bathrooms just that would be off to the west side of that drawing?
correct.
Yeah, the, yeah.
yeah,
The
the ones that are
bathrooms-
just to the west of the play
the
area.
Bathrooms, yeah,
Just want to make sure I'm like, we're all talking about the same thing, because I was getting a little confused.
as far as I go, I mean, you know, the park needs to be
100%, I just want to
be
make sure
done
that we
over,
address that, and, like, it's,
you know, and I think it's a good plan. It's obviously good that we're requesting the design work first before we go into any big project. But to bring it up to, park up to today's standards for the disability and the inclusion part is very important for the residents of this town, so I'm in support of this, so we'll go bring it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
300.
Okay, and the last one is small equipment replacement. We briefly discussed it earlier, but this would be to replace the Bobcat utility vehicle and purchase a John Deere sidearm attachment for one of our tractors. The UTV, utility vehicle, will be replacing the existing UTV at Simons Park and will be used for maintenance activities at the park and to support events on the town common. And the sidearm attachment will be used to clear fence lines at our parks, playgrounds, and athletic fields, and will attach to our larger John Deere tractor. This request is in the amount of $60,000. And the items will be purchased off the state bid list.
Okay. Can I have a motion for small equipment replacement for $60,000.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Is this like how long is that price good for?
They're usually, they may have figured in increase for 2026. They're usually 30 to 90 days, but it's off the state bid list, so they're not going up a lot. So
Okay.
the state contract.
So the total was $50,099 and change?
And we left room for increase.
Okay. 20% increase would be a lot in 90 days.
It
or-
would be.
Or 120 days, but okay.
It would be.
All right.
But with the current environment, some of these items come in from other countries in tariffs, so
Yeah,
we had
that's
this
true.
discussion in our office.
Might be
Then if
brought
you
up.
waited a week, it would come down.
Potentially. So we were very comfortable at a 20% increase
All right.
overall.
Someone might bring it up at one of the meetings going forward. Do they make this, the Bobcat in a electric style instead of gas? I know a lot of people ask these questions going into these meetings.
I thought it was just
Gas and diesel,
Okay,
from what we understand. We had a quote for both, and I think we're going with the gas this time. Our current one is diesel. And for what we use it for, the diesel is good for the towing, the hauling, like the heavier, moving things
Yeah.
in the back of it, where the gas moves around a little easier. And we don't do a huge amount of hauling. We do trash when we do events on the common. Up at Simon's Park, it's used for trash every day, going around to the barrels, so we don't have to send our big trucks in there to empty those barrels. And then it's carrying landscape equipment and things like that. Carry grass clippings and
Yeah.
some small amounts of infield mix.
we use it all the
but-
time,
Yes.
it's a good vehicle, so, that's good. I'm fine with, all right, so, first and second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
300. Where am I
Thank you.
now? These-
Thank you. That completes the request, the capital request for FY '27.
Crap everywhere. Hold on there, people. What do we got next on the, oh, here we are. All right, so do we have any need for an executive session, Brendan?
No, not at this time.
All right, so our next meeting will be Wednesday.
Yes,
All right.
6 o'clock, February 11th, 6 o'clock at the Recreation Department Conference Room.
Okay.
And then we're probably have another meeting beginning of March. Do you want me to send out a poll?
With not the other two commissioners here, and if we're gonna have the meeting Wednesday, we'll come up with the next meeting, we'll discuss on Wednesday night.
So the meeting in March will have the 75,000, or you'll have the quote in. We're not looking at revisiting the amended article.
No, Wednesday.
Correct.
On Wednesday, it'll be the following meeting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Wednesday is just for the appointment, to approve the appointment of a maintenance craftsman and working foreman. As long as everyone has been notified, HR has done their reference checks, have all come back, which they were hoping to have them back today.
Okay. Excellent. Can I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved. We are adjourned. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 300.